person stretched out, like the space around them was stretched out and they were being stretched along with it. Their body went from the ground up to the clouds, and their jaw swung at right angles. There were these gaps as well, black gaps in the space around its body, like wings. This is the only physical description we get of the morally ambiguous character known only as It in the SCP-5000 tale. There's not a lot to go on there, so let's look at some clues from around the tale to try and ascertain the identity of It. I'll start with a description of the impacts and abilities that It has in the universe. It resides in the collective human consciousness, the psychosphere as the Foundation puts it. It cannot be the product of any one person's mind, but exists only within minds. It's responsible for certain human base instincts, emotion, empathy, pain. It's irrational, not to do with reason or the intellectual mind, but instead existing in the subconscious. Whatever this entity, this It, is, we can say for certain that it has no wish to destroy humanity, as it gets this opportunity several times, piloting Pietro's mind, and presumably everyone else's, as he reunites the object in the briefcase, SCP-055, with SCP-579 to save the world. This entity seems incredibly powerful, as one would have to be to control the entirety of the human psychosphere, but also somewhat disorganized, without a plan, shambolic, choosing not to attack the Foundation head-on, as it surely would be powerful enough to do, but instead simply pick off lone MTFs or groups of soldiers to weaken the Foundation's influence. Another thing that's very hard to ignore in the tale is the way that the SCP Foundation agents, upon their capture, refer to the humans as disgusting, much in the manner of SCP-682. Now, it's as close to canonical as one can get in the SCP Foundation, that SCP-682 is in fact the offspring and a prominent soldier in the army of SCP-001, the Scarlet King. So, presumably, It was what SCP-682 was finding so disgusting about humans all along, and it just took this long for the Foundation to realize it. But, more to the point, why would 682 find this so disgusting? With his links to the Scarlet King mythos, we can only assume that it's because It is a rival or an enemy in some way to the Scarlet King. However, what is interesting is that fear is no stranger to SCP-682, as he famously recoiled at the sight of SCP-173, the Peanut. When encountering something of equal or greater power than himself and his own allegiances, the Scarlet King being counted as part of them, he is scared of them. But this denigrating attitude, this finding humans disgusting, indicates that It and what It represents is less powerful than the Scarlet King. We can use this to gauge a vague frame of power for the entity. It's powerful, yes, as powerful as some of the minor gods that we've seen before. However, we can still quite safely assume that it's less powerful than the Scarlet King himself. Let's look back on what we've seen before. It's powerful, but less powerful than the Scarlet King. It causes base instincts in whichever humans it infects. It wishes to preserve humanity. There's only one entity which really fits the bill here. Of course, I'm referring to Yaldabaoth, the god of flesh. There's just one problem with this theory. Yaldabaoth himself is still chained in the prison of Mikane's body. The answer is simple. It is not Yaldabaoth. It is a latent form of Yaldabaoth's power manifesting in our world. Hence its weakened power when compared to Yaldabaoth himself. Hence its disorganized nature. Hence its scattered form. The events in this SCP-5000 tale are simply the result of a god's mind imprisoned. This is the sub-theory which makes the most sense to me, but of course there could be other reasons. It could be a conscious attack by Yaldabaoth on the Church of the Broken God. It could be one of Yaldabaoth's servants, one of the next most powerful Sarkic SCPs. But there is no doubt in my mind that the events which transpire in SCP-5000-Y are the result of Sarkicism and Yaldabaoth's influence on our universe. Do you agree? If not, leave a comment detailing your own theory on the video. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.